What's up, hobby friends, and welcome to the vlog video for the month of November, talking about what I painted in October. So pretty much everything this month was, again, working on Blood Angels with a couple of commissions, one which I can show, and then, unfortunately, because it was shipped off to the client before an event, all I have are photos of it, and then another one where it was for a company itself, but I believe it's under an NDA, so I don't really want to show anything for it. So let's just get right on in, show you what I worked on, and then show you what I have planned for pretty much the rest of the year, and then what I have planned in terms of what I can get done, content creation for Patreon and YouTube, and then where I'm probably going to fall short when it comes to the actual no and painted models by end of the year goal I have. So because I hate myself and I love to self-sabotage, I ended up adding quite a few things to my Blood Angels Legion. I mean, the flip side is it makes my current 3,000 points a little bit more combined arms, a little bit more toolbox and balanced, and I think more fun to play. So I'm actually looking forward to trying that out. I'll have more on that list in a second. I'll show you what the actual army looks like. But walking through what I actually painted and what I added. So I've got a Herald as my third HQ. I've got 10 more Assault Marines. And the goal with this unit was basically to add another 10-man squad, break up my existing 20-man. And in order to do that, I'd have to paint 2 more sergeants so that I can have 3 individual 10-man squads. I painted up 10 sniper veterans. The Nemesis bolters with their rending, their range are, I think, really key in this current edition of Heresy. And the fact that these guys are 2 wounds and relentless means that I can park them in a Rhino turn 1, not get just nuked by whirlwinds or missile launchers or automatically pinned. And I can hunt down or chase down dreadnoughts and other like Terminators or character units. I added a Daredale with plasma, missile launcher, and he has the assault cannons modeled only because, like an idiot, I threw away the heavy bolters that he comes with. So I think he'll probably just field heavy bolters unless I have points, and then I'll give him the nipple cannons. And then I added a squadron of 3 Predators. My list itself only actually has 2 of them, but thinking 40k squadrons, I just built the full 3 to future-proof, although I think I made a mistake and realized that Heresy squadrons are 4 maximum for the Predator. I don't think I'll ever field 4 in a single squadron. I actually think 2 or 3 is my cap, so whatever, that's done. And then I also painted this Greek hoplite from Scale 75. A lot of fun to work on. It was a nice break from a lot of the army grinding, and then I chose to do them in regular metallics, largely so that I wouldn't hate myself painting non-monomodal, and it would be a lot faster. It'd be a great way to show that you can still have great looking display models using regular metallic paints as opposed to non-monomodal. And yeah, it was a little delayed last month, so I do apologize. I don't think I got him painted and uploaded until near the end of the month. I'm going to try and do better. I'm actually going to be working on as I'm recording it, this is the 30th of October. So I'll be working on the Roman Legionnaire probably today and tomorrow, get that done and get that ready to upload at the start of the month. And then I'll throw it up on screen, but not pictured. There is also the Black Widow in the white suit. I painted it for my client, taking a bit of a break from Marvel at the moment. And I'm in good communication with the client. He understands. We're in no rush. So I painted it up, sent it to him because he was running an event or taking part in an event soon. So I don't have the actual model on hand anymore. But I do still have a few pieces for his commission project that I'm going to aim to finish by the end of next month. And this is my current 3,000 points of Blood Angels complete. I was okay being distracted this past month because I don't like having multiple projects on the go. I'm not really that great of a multitasker. And like having 1 or 2 to bounce back and forth between, especially if they're commission projects, that's cool, that's fine. But I don't like having 2, 3, or even 4 different projects, especially armies on the go. I find it does weigh heavily on the back of my mind, and it actually impacts my mental as it comes to approaching projects, and I almost feel like I don't want to get anything done because I feel kind of overwhelmed by what I have on my plate. So it was important to me to actually be able to finish this project, finish this army, at least sign off on it for the next month or so, and then maybe around December time, I'll revisit some of the remaining units I have just to try and get them in the collection and give me a couple of options. So we'll quickly walk through the army, focusing on, I guess, sort of the changes and why I chose to make them. So leading the army is still the Praetor. he's got the Incarmine Paladin Warlord trait, and the Mastercrafted Paragon Blade, Infernus Pistol because I have the points, and then a Legion Warhawk jump pack. I'm actually running no Rite of War for this army, and the reason why I've swapped to the Incarmine Paladin is a bit of synergy with the way the Dawnbreakers cause pinning when they Deep Strike Assault, and then try and build the fear up from his Warlord trait by winning combats. So hopefully by turn 3 or 4, after he's fought a few combats, won a few rounds, I'll be able to have a pretty solid leadership debuff, AoE around both him and the Herald, to then make my pinning units, so the Vigilator, the Veterans, and then I have the Plasma Daredevil's Missile Launcher to make them a little bit more effective. The second character that I've added to the army is the Herald. One of the biggest challenges with this army is being pinned, and having, especially when I'm fighting Thousand Suns, a 300-point Dawnbreaker unit that just gets automatically pinned, or having both of them auto-pinned on a turn, especially if I get intercepted when I deep struck, has a huge impact to my ability to actually fight and execute my game plan. So having the Herald in there, he's fairly cheap. He's another source of a Perdition Axe, and he'll make a unit of Dawnbreakers fearless. He'll also make one of the Dawnbreakers Lion, which gives me a little bit more durable, flexible objective grabbing throughout the course of the game, so I'm not relying on my assault squads. Before I jump to my third HQ, so I still run 2 Dawnbreaker squads, 10 and 10, all with spears. I've got a sergeant with a Perdition Axe in both of them, and then they both have multi-bombs because it's a flat cost for the entire unit regardless of size. I use them to fight my combats. Less so focused on trying to kill Terminators. I realized that they're not very good at punching through AP2, although they're very effective at trading for 1 or 2 Dreadnoughts. Still a solid anchor for my army. I'm just taking only 2 squads and not 3 like my original army. Rounding out my elites is a 10-man veteran squad in a Rhino, and I've got my third HQ, the Vigilator, joining them. So essentially this is to give my army a little bit more shooting, a little bit more rending, so I can try and plink wounds off of Dreadnoughts, or maybe potentially hurt vehicles. More realistically, I'm aiming to pin fire support squads, heavy weapon squads, units that I don't want to deal with, but can be susceptible to pinning. So the overall strategy is using Deep Strike Assault. I'll drop in the Dawnbreakers. I will have the Herald and the Praetor around to give a fear -1 aura. So stack that with the Dawnbreakers. It's a -2 pin test right away. And then anything that isn't pinned, I will then start to throw on some additional pinning with the snipers, which will have the -1 for the fear bubble. The Vigilator will be another -1 because of shell shock. And then again, if I'm stacking up fear, hopefully I can get additional bonuses to that. Not going to help versus Stubborn, but anything else, I think it'll be super effective. My troops is 3 10-man assault squads. They all have sergeants with artificer armor and special weapons. So I've got 1 squad that's Perdition Axe, double power axe, and then just bolt pistols for the unit. And then I've got 2 squads with power spears because that's how I had them modeled. And then I built sergeant with power fists because I really like the way they look. I think the power fists that come in the new box set they're not small, but they're not old and chunky like the current 40k versions. I think they look pretty sleek, pretty streamlined, and I wanted to paint a couple of them. I've always loved the way they look, the weight they have. So not quite as effective as Perdition weapons, I think, but still pretty cool. They very rarely live to see combat, but they're there to basically score objectives. And I've made them killy enough to be a threat, to draw attention, so that you can't just ignore them. And if you do, well, then they're going to walk up and maybe kill some stuff. I still have the Incandescent Dreadnought. So he's got 2 Gravis Fists, 2 Multi-Guns, and then he drops in depending on whether my opponent has a Master of Signal. I will Deep Strike Assault multiple units or just 1. Probably there to trade for other Dreadnoughts and try and target backline vehicle heavy support squads. So Whirlwind Scorpio squadrons, Predator squadrons. And then for my heavy support, I've got a Leviathan with Cyclonic Multi-Lance, Phosphorus Launcher, Assault Cannon Nipple Cannons, and a multi-gun in the Gravis Fist. And then a Daredale with the Plasma Cannonade. He's equipped with or modeled with the Assault Cannon Nipples, but as I mentioned earlier, I actually threw the guns away. So he's supposed to have heavy bolters. I'll say he has heavy bolters. Not a big deal. And then the Aeolus Missile Launcher. I'm trying to steer away from the more traditional ways of doubling out Terminators. I'm avoiding last cannon squads. I'm avoiding Scorpiuses. I don't want to spam Leviathans, although it would be pretty easy to. A part of me thinks that the Predators are probably better served as a second Leviathan, but again, trying to avoid the spam, be a little more combined arms. And I actually think that with the range and mobility, the 2 Predators, which is my last heavy support squad, they're not terribly awful at it. I do think they're a little overpriced, very easy to stun lock, very easy to kill. But they're cool, they're vehicles, they'll hopefully draw some firepower away from my infantry squads. If they can buy my squads of turn or not eating 10-man missile launchers to the face, they've done their job. So that's my 3,000 points. Really looking forward to playing it. And again, running no Rite of War for the maximum flexibility. So if I want a Deep Strike Assault 1 or multiple units, I can choose to reserve. I can outflank with the Predators. I have a lot of options. I feel like the stock Rites of War for Blood Angels really lock them into a particular playstyle, which I guess is the narrative of it. It's fluffy. There are some pros, but a lot of cons that I don't think, if you're trying to build an all-comers balanced army, really suit the style unless you build for them. And then finally, my goals for this coming month. Fairly ambitious. There's a lot on my plate, but I'm going to try and get it done and just try and be good with managing my time in order to try and continue to just work towards that no unpainted models goals. And also because I know that if I don't crunch now, it's going to make December pretty stressful for me. And I know this is stupid because it's a lot of self-imposed goals, but I think without those, I kind of feel not distracted, but like aimless. It's just that part of me that needs to constantly be productive and producing things. So if I don't at least set a schedule and try and plan things out, it'll never get done. So I'd rather just be a little bit more aggressive, and then even if I fail, I've still gotten quite a bit done. So commission-wise, we're going to be working on Malekith. I have a Lizard, and then a 3D printed Iron Man. So you can see I've already started working on the base. I'll need to prime those later and start working on those. For my own personal Marvel collection, this is rounding out 3 collections. So not whole for one of them, so A-Force in particular, but finishing off what I have collected specifically for that affiliation. So I've got Moon Knight, which will round up my Web Warriors. I've got Gamora and Nebula, which will round up my Black Order, and then in particular with Nebula, give me a 2 threat to be able to fill some of those odd roster points. And then for my A-Force, and then also as a bit of flex in some other affiliations. So I've got Angela and Enchantress. I've got Crystal, which I think will work very, very well also with Convocation because of her condition work, in particular with Mordo. I've got Scarlet Witch, and then I've got Domino. Domino is the piece I'm really looking forward to because she splashes well into a lot of affiliations. And I think once I get her painted, I'll be looking to slot her into my Convocation as well as my Web Warriors, because those are the 2 main good guy affiliations I play a lot. And then just, it'll be great to have her in the toolbox. And then finally, I've got the Roman Legionnaire, which I'm probably going to knock out first. Probably in metallics, just like when I painted the hoplite, just to get it quickly done. Hopefully in the next couple of days. And then, yeah, that should put me in good shape for what I have left for December. And then speaking briefly on December, again, I want to be really aggressive with my November plans. Try and get as much as I can done so that my December is a little lighter in terms of what I'll actually look to get done for the end of the year. So for sure, I've already got the Sentinel Prime. And then whenever it gets released, probably I think mid-November, the Sentinel Mark IV kit, the 2 smaller Sentinels, that'll form its own affiliation. And then I'll round it out with a couple of, I don't know, maybe Cassandra Nova in the new year, branching into some Brotherhood. Not quite sure yet. I've got the Moritat. I've picked up 3 Javelins for my Legion because I also hate myself. And then I've got the Kratos. And then from there, I've probably got 1 or 2 display pieces that I want to get done by the end of the year. And I think that's it in terms of what I know for sure firm will be planned for December. And that hopefully will give me some leeway or flexibility to just paint some fun models, branch out, and go from there. And that about wraps up this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give it a like and subscribe for more awesome weekly content. And if you want to check out my other social media platforms, I'll make sure to have links in the video description below. As always, until next time, happy hobbying.